Welcome to the Soulful Success by Design podcast. I'm Kendra Woods, your host, and a former corporate healthcare executive turned entrepreneur. After battling burnout, I discovered the magic of human design. As a 6'2" splenic projector, I am here to lead you on a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, and unstoppable growth. So join me as we dive into the world of human design, mindset, energetics, and aligned success. We will talk about the highs and the lows of creating soulful and meaningful success in your life and business on your terms. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Soulful Success by Design podcast. I am your host, Kendra Woods, and as always, I'm excited to be back here with you for another episode. So before we dive into today's topic, which I really think you're going to love, it is all about alignment and success strategies for each human design type. So we're going to be diving into alignment strategies, success strategies for each type. So listen out for your human design type, and also listen out for the other types as well, because you might have them as clients in your life, or you might have them as, as family members or spouses or loved ones in your life or friends. So pay attention to all of them. But before we dive into that, first of all, I want to thank you for being here and thank you for listening. I'm so grateful to all of you that tune into the show every other week when I post, who leave me great comments, who have rated the show, who have reviewed the show, who send me DMs over on my Instagram platform. Thank you so much. The encouragement, I love it. And I love knowing that you are getting something out of this. So in that spirit, I do want to share with you a review that one of our listeners left for us. And her name is Amanda Hinman. So Amanda Hinman left us a 5-star review, and she wrote, "Truth that is insightful." She says, "I appreciate Kendra's knowledgeable and compassionate way of explaining human design. She shares insights in a way that gives me great clarity and deeper self-love, both which are essential for greater business impact. Thank you, Kendra." Amanda, thank you. And I'm so glad that you are enjoying the show. All right. So now I want to share with you something that I'm really excited about. You've heard me talk about this last episode, but we are going to be hosting our Align and Thrive workshop once again. Myself and my business partner, Michelle Renee Robinson, will be throwing our Align and Thrive 3-day workshop in August 13th through the 15th. So if you are a coach, a guide, a mentor, a healer, whatever you call yourself, and you really want to take your clients deeper in their work with you, you want to create a more tailored and unique approach with how you work with your clients, then this workshop is where you want to be, right? This is really about us supporting you and providing you with the information and the knowledge so that you can build an even deeper, thriving practice filled with clients who don't just walk through your door, but they are like knocking it down to work with you. Because here's the truth. In today's climate, in today's market, your clients, your potential clients are out there looking for someone with expertise, someone who can take them deeper into the essence of who they are than they have ever experienced before. So they're looking beyond, right, the talking type of sessions or the surface level type of clarity. They're looking for deeper transformations that's really going to move the needle in their life and business. And so inside of the Align and Thrive workshop, we are going to take you on this journey over the course of 3 days and really share with you what it gets to look like when you integrate human design into your business. So on day 1, we are going to spend a good 3 hours together moving through type, strategy, and authority. So we're going to dive deep into the core of human design, and we're going to teach you how to tailor your approach to each unique individual that you work with. That's going to really enhance their own personal growth and your client satisfaction. Then day 2, we're going to focus on profile. So we're going to support you in, number 1, understanding the different nuances and levels of profile and how you can craft personalized coaching approaches and give guidance and even facilitate healing that resonates deeply with your clients based on their profile. And then on day 3, we're doing something really, really fun. Myself and Michelle Renee, we're going to address your questions, of course, and your curiosities. And then we are going to be doing a sweet seat where one lucky participant will be able to live move through a session with myself and Michelle Renee, where we look at your human design chart and we provide you with guidance and coaching based on your design. So if you are there watching, you'll get to see in real life like what this looks like. So I will leave the link for you so that you can register for this complimentary workshop. You can register at the link and then join us for those 3 days live. It's going to be so much fun. All right, so let's dig into this episode. So let's talk about, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our manifestors first. And I'm going to share with you, remember, alignment and success strategies for each type. So if we're talking with the manifestors, here's what we need to know. First and foremost, manifestors, you all are the initiators of the world. You are here to blaze a trail. You are here to innovate. You are super, super powerful. You know when you're in alignment, when you are really feeling your signature theme, which is peace. When you're feeling peaceful, you know that you're right where you need to be, you're aligned, and you are having the impact that you are here to have. Now, what do your alignment strategies look like? Number 1, embracing your role as an initiator and a leader. You really have got to own the fact that you're here to lead, you're here to initiate, you're here to pave the way, you're here to like be the rebel, do things different. Number 2, you're going to want to make sure as a manifestor that you are prioritizing rest and downtime to prevent burnout. I'll say that again. Prioritize your rest and your downtime to prevent burnout. Why is this important for a manifestor? So for manifestors, you have an undefined sacral. So that means you do not have this sustainable life force and workforce energy that can continue to go and go and go and go and go. You have to be really, really wise about where you are putting your energy. You need to have people around you that you can delegate to, that you can hand things off to help grow and build your vision. And you need to be making sure that you're prioritizing your rest, that you're prioritizing downtime. Are you prioritizing your sleep at night? Do you have spaciousness in your calendar, or are you just like keeping it filled up with appointment after appointment? You need that spaciousness so that you can rest and really honor your rest cycles so that you can be the leader and the guide that you're meant to be here in this world. Number 3, alignment strategy. You need to practice clear and honest communication, especially when you are initiating new projects. So here's the thing, you know that your strategy as a manifestor is to inform. And while I know that this might feel uncomfortable for you as a manifestor to be informing others, it is the key to supporting you and being able to be in your alignment theme of peace. It's the key for you to have that freedom and to have that freedom to move forward, to move things forward, to move your projects forward. It is what enables you to have less resistance along your path as you're moving forward. So really practicing that. And what I've found with most manifestors, when I work with manifestors and we talk about some of the challenges, is for so long, your power has been suppressed, right? Through conditioning, whatever stories you've been telling yourself, and you've suppressed that power. And so it's almost like you've forgotten that, wait a minute, I am here to be powerful. I'm here to be like in my power, using my voice, speaking my truth, initiating other people, and really just blazing my own path. And so if it feels uncomfortable for you to be honest in your communication, for you to be open in your communication, that is an area where you know that you get to work on what needs to be healed, what needs to be released, what needs to be aligned, so that you can stand in your truth and communicate effectively and be honest in your communication and inform those around you. Hey, here's what's about to happen. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Now, as far as success strategies, I have 3 success strategies for you, manifestors. Number 1, setting clear intentions and boundaries to maintain your peace. You've heard the saying, I'm sure, that says that says you've got to protect your peace. You need to be protecting your peace at all times as a manifester. So setting clear boundaries is going to help you do just that. Setting clear intentions is going to help you do just that so that you can stay more in your signature theme of peace. Number 2, success strategy, using visualization techniques to see the end result of your initiations. So remember, you're here to initiate, and you need to have people around you that can help you follow through on all of that. And so in order for you to practice clear and honest communication, which is one of your alignment strategies, in order for you to do that, you need to be very clear in your mind about what that looks like, what the end result looks like. So the more you can visualize it, the more you can embody it, the more you can be with it, the more you can like play with it and be in the zone with that, the better you'll be able to be clear in what needs to happen and where you need to delegate, who needs to do what, and the better you're able to inform of what's going to be happening next. And then the third success strategy for manifestors is engaging in some type of somatic practice like breath work to release tension and to maintain your energy flow. So if you find yourself, manifestors, falling into your not self theme, which is anger, take a minute, take a beat, slow down, do some somatic practices like breath work, connect with yourself, recenter yourself, slow your breath down so that your nervous system gets back into regulation, so that you can relax and release your tension, so that you can then be back in alignment and be in your creative flow. Because as a manifestor, you receive these internal creative urges, okay? And if you are out of alignment and you're feeling angry, or you're feeling, suppressed, or you're feeling like you're just not really able to be in your power, then you may miss these creative urges that want to move through you and be expressed in the world. Okay. So let me give you a practical example. You all know I love to give practical examples. And so let's pretend that we have a manifestor entrepreneur who decides to launch a new product line. Maybe she is a designer and she's, deciding that, okay, I'm going to launch a new line of clothing. Okay. Before doing so, what she wants to do is take time to rest and recharge, right? Ensuring that she has the energy to really see the project through, that she can, have the energy to delegate, to share the vision, to inform. Okay. And then once she does that, then she can clearly inform her team and anyone around her that's going to be affected by this new thing she's launching. So she might even need to inform her family. Hey, just letting you know, I'm about to launch a new product line. I'm about to launch a new clothing line. And here's what is going to happen. And here's what you can expect. Letting people around her know about her vision and the steps that she plans to take. Because when she does this, it allows everyone to align with the goals of the project. And so when that happens, what does that mean? It means that she has just removed resistance, external resistance off her path so that she can move forward, be tapped into those creative urges, and know clearly where she's going. And so with this open communication, it helps her to prevent misunderstandings, and it also builds a supportive environment. And because she's taken the time to rest and recharge, she's not going to be running herself on the ground and potentially burning out. All right. So if this is you, if you're a manifestor, take this in, sit with it, be with it, tap into how does this align for me? What needs to shift or change? If you have manifestors in your life, how can you support them with what I just shared with you, with these success strategies and alignment strategies? All right, who is next? We're going to move on to the generators. Okay, so generators, your signature theme, when you are in alignment, you're going to feel this internal emotional theme of satisfaction. So, generators, you do have a defined sacral. You're here to build. You are here um, to have mastery over what it is that you love doing. You're here to be lit up by what you're doing. You are here to literally follow what feels most right for you, what your truth is. So, when we start talking about alignment strategies, here are yours. The first one, follow your gut response and trust your sacral authority. All right. Your sacral is going to give you a clear right, which is a yes, or a which is a no. So the important piece here is if this doesn't resonate with you and you're like, yeah, but I don't feel that or that from my sacral, I'm going to share with you in the success strategies piece what you can do to tap into that. Because following your gut response and trusting your sacral authority is like, that is it for you. That is where the magic happens for you. Now, I will say this. If you are a generator that has emotional authority, we get a little nuanced there because your sacral is going to speak to you and share with you that or that but you do want to make sure that you're honoring your emotional authority and you're wading through your emotional wave before you move. Okay. Alignment strategy number 2 for generators is engaging in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. I cannot tell you how many generators I've come across who are doing things in their business or in their life because they feel like they should do them or because they feel obligated. If you are a generator and you're doing things because you feel like you should or you feel obligated to do it, that is literally like putting a blanket over your light, right? It really dampens your mood. It dampens like the magic and the passion that you naturally bring to the world. And so if you are doing that, then you're also going against your sacral because your sacral is telling you, no, that's not what you should do, or I don't want to do that. And every time you say, oh, I'll do it anyway, every time you override your sacral, you are essentially abandoning yourself and going against yourself. Okay. So really make it a priority to engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Say to yourself, I'm not doing anything unless it brings me joy, it makes me excited, and it feels good. And when you do that, you will begin to have so many beautiful things coming into your life that you get to respond to that feels so good because you've opened yourself up to it. Number 3, alignment strategy for you generators is to set healthy boundaries to avoid burnout from overcommitting. So listen, just because you have a defined sacral generators does not mean that you can't burn out. So remember what I just said earlier, that if you're doing things that you feel like you should do or you feel obligated to do, then that more than likely means that you're overriding your sacral that's telling you, I don't want to do that. And every single time you override your sacral and you do it anyways, it's almost like you are grinding gears in a car, right? I don't know if any of you are familiar with driving a stick shift. That was my first car. My first car was was a stick shift. And when you try to put your car in a gear that it doesn't want to go into, or that it's not the right speed for it to go into, you're going to get this nasty grinding sound, right? You're going to get all this resistance. And that's the same thing that happens to you, generators, if you are overcommitting because you feel like you should or you feel like you're obligated. You will burn that sacral out. Every time you say yes, when your body and your sacral is telling you no, you're pushing and forcing that energy to show up for you. And the thing with your sacral is it's not going to show up for you. It's going to be like, don't want to do it. And it's going to feel like you're dragging yourself through it. The more times you do that, the more that you burn out that sacral. So be mindful of where you may be overcommitting and take a step back. Now, your success strategies as a generator. Number 1, practice gratitude to enhance your feeling of satisfaction. So if you're feeling like you're in a rut and maybe you're experiencing your not self theme, which is frustration, then you want to step in and go, okay, let me practice some gratitude to help me shift my perspective, to help me shift the way I'm thinking, to help me shift my energy and the way that I'm feeling. Number 2 success strategy is utilizing affirmations and doing mindset work to reinforce your worthiness of receiving joy. Reinforcing your worthiness that you get to receive joy. So when you do utilize affirmations, you're reminding yourself of who you are. The mindset work that I would suggest for you as a generator is doing work that supports you from moving out of your head and into your body. A lot of generators are really heady, right? Like they're up here in the mind, overthinking things, wanting to know all the details, need to know all the things. And when you drop into your body, that is where you will find your answers and the magic. Okay. So doing mindset work around, why do I feel like I need to intellectualize everything? Why do I feel like I need to know all the details? Why do I not trust myself? How can I trust myself more? All right. And then third, for generators, is incorporating regular physical movement to connect with your sacral energy. You need to move your body because your truth is in your body. Okay. I would say that for all of us, our truth is in our body, but really, especially for generators, because you have that sacral that when you are in alignment, it will give you a clear yes and a clear no. It will let you know, it will communicate that to you. So do something to move your body. And because you have all this sacral energy that you're generating, and your sacral is a motor, it is important for you to move that excess energy. Okay. Because remember, generators, at the end of the day, your goal is to have exhausted that sacral so that you get a really good night's sleep. And so a part of that is going to be not just doing work that you love, but also moving your body physically so you can move some of that energy and so that you can connect to your sacral. So let me give you an example. So here's an example of what it looks like to follow your gut response. Again, we have a generator entrepreneur who someone says to her, hey, I would love for you to come speak at my conference. Okay. And so her sacral responds. And so what she does though, she takes a moment to check in with her gut response before committing. So someone comes to her and says, I would say, Lucy, hey, Lucy, I would love to have you come speak at my conference. Will you come speak? But she's not just blurting out a yes because, oh, well, my friend asked me and I should do it. She's checking in with her sacral. What is her sacral saying, right? Is it saying uh-huh or is it saying uh-uh? She's checking in with her response before committing. And so when she does that, let's say it's a uh-huh, right? So she feels this strong positive pull towards saying yes and accepting this invitation. And so she's doing this because what this looks like for her is like she's excited and her sacral's lit up. And so she's prioritizing activities that excite her. And this activity of speaking at this conference excites her. And because of that, she knows that her sacral says yes, she feels lit up and excited by it. This ensures that she will then have the energy to have enough energy for the event, to move through the event. Now, alternatively, she also practices saying no to other engagements, to other speaking engagements that don't spark joy, preventing her from being overwhelmed and burned out. So let's say if you're Lucy and you're a generator and you're like, I want more speaking engagements. Okay, great. You get an invitation to a conference. If it lights you up, wonderful, go for it. But every conference invitation that comes to you, your response does not need to be a yes for all of those. Okay, so you are practicing saying no to the ones that just don't feel like you. All right. All right, generators, let me know how that lands with you. Next, we have our manifesting generators. So for you, Manny Gens, your signature theme is satisfaction and peace. Remember, your Manny Gens are like a hybrid of the generator type, and you have some manifestor energy in you. So your signature themes are going to be both from the generator and the manifestor. So satisfaction and peace. Listen, Manny Gens, you're so fast. You have fast energy. You're here to multitask. You're here to have your hands in all the things. You're here to simply do what lights you up. You're here to skip the steps. You're here to really do and be the magical being that you are and just be the life of the party. Okay. You're not here to follow some linear, like step-by-step path. Your path is going to be circular and it's going to look like it's all over the place, but it's not. It's how your energy is meant to move in this world. So your alignment strategies, number one, embrace your multi-passionate nature and allow yourselves to turn and pivot, turn and pivot, turn and pivot. Embrace it, embrace it, embrace it. Embrace your multi-passionate nature. If anyone is trying to put you in a box and tell you, oh, you got to do it this way, you've got to do it that way, or you need to focus on one thing, you already know that doesn't feel good. Okay. So don't fall into the shoulds and be like, oh, well, I should niche down and only focus on this one thing. Mm-mm. Embrace your multi-passionate nature and bring all of you to the world. All of the things that light you up and that you're passionate about, bring them to the world. Let us see them. Let us experience them. Okay. Number two, alignment strategy for many gens is to listen to your gut response while also informing others about your plans. And so this is a twofold for you, right? Because as a Manny Gen, you do have a defined sacral as well. So you do need to be listening to your sacral. Okay. You need to be listening to that. But because you have that manifestor energy in you, you also need to inform folks around you of what's happening. Because let me tell you, especially as a manager, if you feel inclined to just go off and just do things and just, be in your own little zone, and that feels natural to you. But I guarantee you, when you do that, you've probably noticed that folks are like, what are you doing? What are you doing now? I don't understand what's happening here. Like they're asking you all these questions. And what happens? That's resistance that's being placed on your path. And it slows you down and it stops you. And that's when you fall into your not self theme of anger and frustration because you didn't inform. So one of your second alignment strategy, listen to your gut and inform others about your plans. All right, the third one is balancing your speed with rest so that you prevent overwhelm. So because you have like all these ideas and your hands want to be in all the places and you're so fast with things, you can forget that you need to actually rest. Okay. For all of my sacral energy beings out there, generators, manifesting generators, you need to know that just because you have this sacral energy and you're like, boom, 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 I have all this energy to go, 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 you still need to rest. Rest is still an important part. Remember, your sacral is a motor, and all the motors in human design work to rest. So balance your speed and rest as a managing to prevent overwhelm. And then your success strategies. Number one, practicing energy management techniques like time blocking and prioritization. So because your energy is like dipped into all these different places, you want to make sure that you're prioritizing what is really most important to you right now. Okay. Getting really good at prioritizing and doing some time blocking. So you're like the master of multitasking, and you can do that, but there needs to be a focus to it, right? There needs to be a system to it and not just bouncing all over the place, but there needs to be like a process to it. So set out, block some time for yourself to say, okay, I'm going to work on this project for like an hour or two. And then once you feel fulfilled there, you might say, okay, I'm going to come over here and spend a few hours on this. And then once you feel fulfilled there, you may bounce over to something else, but give yourself some parameters and prioritize so that you don't fall into overwhelm. Number two, success strategy for managers is for you to engage in some kind of subconscious reprogramming, like NLP work or hypnosis, time techniques to help you overcome your limiting beliefs around multitasking. Because many gens have this challenge of taking on the conditioning of others who say, why are you doing all that? You need to be focused on one thing. You've got your hands in too many things. That's why nothing's working for you. And you need to slow down. You need to blah, blah, blah. Like all these things that come at you as a manager. You've taken this in and you're trying to operate from this conditioning. And so that's why things can feel like they're like you don't know where you're going or what you're doing, or things can feel hard because you're operating from the conditioning that you've taken on from the external world, around, looking like you don't know what you're doing or being all over the place or conditioning your beliefs around multitasking. So take some time to engage in some subconscious reprogramming so that you can remember who you are and what you are here to do. Number three, success strategy for you managers is to use creative visualization to see the successful completion of the multiple projects you are working on. A part of your strategy as a manager is actually to visualize, to see it in here first. Okay. And seeing the successful completion of it, tapping into the feelings of it, tapping into it already being done. All right. So that you then know how to prioritize, how to properly delegate, so that you can stay in alignment and not be in overwhelm or fall into burnout. So, what does this look like in real life? So, we're going to use another example. So let's say we have a manifesting generator who's this creative professional who is passionate, let's say, about both graphic design and writing. Let's say those two. And now this manager, she finds herself drawn to multiple projects simultaneously. And so to honor her multi-passionate nature, she sets up for herself a flexible schedule that allows her to switch between tasks when she feels inspired. She communicates her availability and her project timelines to her client. She's informing, right? Ensuring that everyone's on the same page. And in this way, right, she's able to stay productive and satisfied without feeling like she's trying to fit into a box. All right. So, a few things here in this scenario. Number one, this entrepreneur is embracing her multi-passionate nature. Number two, she has set up for herself a flexible schedule that allows her to switch between tasks when she feels inspired. Number three, she's communicating and informing the people around her of like the timelines, and she's informing her clients and keeping everyone on the same page so folks aren't in her way, essentially, from doing what she needs to do. Do you see how this works when you begin to honor yourself? Okay, moving on to our projectors. So, projectors, you are the seers of the world. You are the sages. You are the guides. You're here to guide the energy of others. You're so wise and see things that most folks can't see. That is your gift. Okay. And so, when you're operating in alignment, your signature theme is success. You just feel successful. So, your alignment strategies, projectors, number one, recognize your unique perspective and wisdom. So, projectors thrive when they are recognized and invited. But here's the thing, it has to start with you first. If you're a projector, you have got to recognize yourself first. You have to recognize that you bring amazing insight and value to the table. So you've got to recognize and own that you have a unique perspective and that you have wisdom that is just innate to you, and you bring that to the table. Number two, alignment strategy. You are waiting for invitations to share your insight and guidance. And I want to make this really clear right here, because I think projector entrepreneurs hear this and they think, oh, well, I need to wait for an invitation to share my podcast. I need to wait for an invitation to share my post on social media. No, that's not what this is talking about. Okay. You need to show up so you can make yourself invitable, if that's a word. So you need to show up and share and talk about what you're passionate about. All right. And at the same time, you're not out there trying to give folks that you're interacting with unsolicited advice, unsolicited guidance. You're not doing that. You're waiting for them to engage with you in a way so that you know that the invitation is there. So if we're talking about social media, for example, if I'm a projector, so I'll use me. If I go out there and I, publish my podcast, and someone sends me an email back and says, oh my gosh, like I love your podcast, or maybe they message me on Instagram and they're telling me what they enjoy, and maybe they ask me a question. That's an invitation, right? I can then share with them my insights. I can share with them my guidance, right? I do have boundaries around that, but I can share. Okay. If I post something on Facebook or Instagram and folks are liking it and loving it, and, that is the invitation. I get to keep sharing. Okay. So please Projectors, don't sit back and hold your insights or your gifts or the wisdom that you have to share with the world. Don't sit back and hold that in thinking, well, I need to wait for someone to tell me or invite me to share this. Share it with the world. Share what you're passionate about. Share what's lighting you up. Okay. Number 3 alignment strategy is practicing self-care and rest to avoid burnout. This is a big one for projectors. Again, projectors, you have an undefined sacral. So you don't have that sustainable workforce energy that our generator friends have. Okay. And it's important that you honor this as a projector. Now, many projectors are walking around walking around conditioned because you've been conditioned by all the sacral energy in the world. 70% of the population are generators. And so if you're a projector, you've more than likely you are experiencing some conditioning. You're trying to operate like a generator when really you're a projector. Okay. And so practicing really, really good self-care and rest is so important to you. For me as a projector, I have really strong boundaries around my sleep, right? Like I prioritize my sleep. My husband's a generator and he can just go and go and go. And I have to tell him, look, my bedtime is 9:30, y'all. I'm getting into bed at 9 o'clock. I'm winding down. I might meditate or I might read my book a little bit. And I'm winding down. And then I'm going to sleep at 9:30. I have a strong boundary around that, right? When I'm working in my day, I know when enough is enough. And that's a challenge for projectors, is knowing when enough is enough, understanding that you're taking in a lot of sacral energy and you're amplifying it. And you also need to be true to yourself and know like, okay, I've done what I need to do today. I'm going to go rest and I'm going to take really, really good care of myself. Okay. All right. So what are some success strategies for projectors? Number 1, use affirmations and journaling to reinforce your self-worth and success. You have got to validate and recognize yourself first, projectors. So journal to reinforce your self-worth. Let yourself know that you are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy. Practice some affirmations, maybe even just, write a letter to yourself where you're recognizing yourself for all that you bring to the world, for all that you do, for your wisdom. It's a great strategy to use. Number 2, success strategy is to engage in reflective practices like meditation to maintain clarity and focus. I have been a meditator for well over a decade, and it has been like the thing that has really, really helped me create the life that I have and the success that I get to experience. Meditation, because it allows me to shut off the outside world, really tap into myself, tap into my heart, tap into my dreams and my visions, connect with God, right? And helps me to focus my energy where it needs to be. Okay, so meditation, it helps me reduce stress. It helps me to regulate my nervous system. And as a projector, this is so, so, so important. Okay, you need to be making sure that you are well rested, that your nervous system is calm, that you're keeping your nervous system regulated. And meditation is a great way to do that. Number 3, success strategy for projectors is to incorporate somatic work to release any tension from not being recognized. So if there's a part of you that's feeling bitter, right? Your not self-theme as a projector is bitterness. So if you're feeling bitter because you don't feel like you're being recognized, no one's engaging with your work, I don't think people are listening to me, like whatever that bitterness is for you, whatever that looks like, use some somatic work. I love breath work. That is something that I use a lot to help me release any pent-up emotions, that help me release any bitterness if I'm feeling bitterness, and reset my energy so that I can be available and open for the invitations, and so that I can put myself out there to be invited. Right? All right. So here's a practical example for projectors. So let's say you are a projector coach and you notice a common challenge among your clients. Maybe you're noticing a theme where you're like, okay, my clients are really having a problem with setting boundaries or having difficulty setting boundaries. Maybe that's a theme that you've been seeing throughout when you're working with your clients. Or maybe it's a theme that you're seeing online where folks are talking about like their difficulty in setting boundaries. So rather than you pushing this advice, or rather than you like just saying, oh, I know what the problem is and you need to do this, you talk about it. You talk about what you're seeing. You talk about what you notice. You maybe, if let's say if you're working with your client, you'll say, hey, look, I'm noticing that maybe you might be having some trouble setting boundaries. Tell me about that. Is that true for you? Does that feel right for you? Does that resonate for you? As a projector, that's how we are able to provide our guidance and our support. If we're working with the client, especially, let's stay with that. We're working with the client, asking questions, asking really powerful questions. And so maybe you ask your client, it seems to me like maybe you might be having difficulty setting boundaries. Does that feel true for you? Right? Or I wonder what you think about that. And that gets them talking. They're going to be talking, talking, talking. And then once that happens, then you've got that opening where you can say, okay, great. Well, I have some insight that I would love to share with you. I have a unique perspective that I think you might like. Okay. And they're going to be open to that. They're going to want to hear it. So it's not about pushing and forcing your insight, your knowing, your wisdom on people. It is about asking the question, putting it out there, maybe talking about it in a broad sense, maybe using an example or talking through it about it through a metaphor to get people to open up their energy so that you as a projector can then step in and say, okay, I think I have some wisdom for you here. I've got an insight I want to share with you. And they're open to receive it. In this real life example too, like this projector entrepreneur schedules regular downtime to recharge. Okay. So throughout my day as a projector, I'll give you like my example. I allow spaciousness in my calendar. So I'm not hopping from call to call to call to call to call, right? Like I purposely put like 30 minutes to an hour space in between all of my calls so that I have that time to recharge and reconnect, go outside a little bit, clear my energy, discharge the energy I've picked up. Okay. Because when I do this, it ensures that I can remain clear and I can remain focused when I am coaching or guiding or doing some type of work in that sense. All right. So, projectors, if this is you, let me know how this resonates with you. I'd be curious to know. All right. And then last but not least are our beautiful reflectors. So reflectors, listen, you know that you are here to be a mirror for humanity. Okay. You are here to let us know like what's working, what's not working, and just really reflect back to us what you are observing. So your signature theme, when you are aligned, your signature emotional theme is surprise, right? Surprise, and I might say delight, right? Surprise and delight. So your alignment strategies look like this. Number one, embracing your unique role as a mirror and an observer. You've got to embrace that that is what you are here to do. You are here to mirror back to others, into the world, to your community, where it is that they can do work to up-level themselves, or that mirror to really reflect back to them their greatness. And you're here to observe. So honor that, like embrace that you're not the one who's going to be, like in the group, like doing all the talking. You're going to be the one sitting back and observing and watching and really feeling into the temperature, the energetic temperature of the room. Okay. Number two, reflector alignment strategy. Take time to reflect on your experiences and your environments. This is important for you, reflectors, because your environments are important. Remember, you're as a reflector, you have all of your centers are open or undefined, I should say. They're undefined. And so you are taking in so much energy from your external world and you're taking this in. So if you're in the wrong environment or around the wrong people, that's what you're going to amplify. And so you need to be mindful of that and reflect on that so that you know when it's time to move out of an environment that's no longer serving you, that may feel toxic, that doesn't feel good. Okay. Reflect on your experiences. What have your experiences been like? What have you noticed? What have you seen? What have you observed? And the number three, which kind of ties into this for your alignment strategy, is to surround yourself with positive and supportive people. You need to be around really good people that are positive and supportive of you. I remember I worked with a client a couple of years ago. He was a reflector, and he's been like the first and only reflector I've worked with in my career so far. and he was having a really hard time with his team. Right. He just felt like he just wasn't feeling good. He's like, it doesn't feel good when I go to meetings. I just feel like everyone's being negative and the energy just feels toxic. So he was beginning to reflect that back, right, to his team, and it was causing some turbulence. And so what he and I did together was recognize, okay, who in your environment, who around you is not really good for you? Because what's happening is you're reflecting back that toxicity. And so he and I worked together to do a complete clean out of his team and to bring in people who were more positive, who were more supportive, who really could come on board with his vision. And when he did that, his business took off. All right. Because he wasn't bogged down anymore with all this toxic energy that wasn't aligned for him. All right. Um, So success strategies. Number one, reflectors, practice mindfulness to stay present and open to life's surprises. Life will surprise you, right? And that is your signature alignment theme, is surprise. So allow life to surprise you by staying mindful, by being present and practicing mindfulness techniques and you know, when you're in a space with others, like really being mindful of being present and alert and observing. Number two, success strategy, using body-centered practices like yoga and Tai Chi to help you stay grounded, or like earthing or grounding. Do those things that help you stay grounded and in your center. Okay. Number three, success strategy for reflectors is to engage in creative expression, such as writing, to process your emotions and your experiences. So remember the client that I was talking with you about a few moments ago, one of his way of creatively expressing himself was through writing, and he would write like poems, or he would write songs, and that was his way of like processing his experiences and processing his emotions, so that he wasn't, so that that stuff, that energy wasn't staying stuck with him. Okay. So let me give you a real life example of this. So let's say that you're a reflector and you're a consultant in a corporate setting. We'll use that. And you are frequently feeling like the emotional climate of the workplace. So you're observing this atmosphere and you're reflecting it back during meetings, highlighting areas where, maybe morale could be improved. And so you're reflecting this back, and maybe you're reflecting it back to your managers, or you're reflecting it back to the people around you. And you're saying, hey, these are areas where morale can be improved because here's what I'm noticing. Right. So you see how that works? Like, you can bring about change because of your beautiful observations. Now, this reflector also is working to maintain their well-being by spending time in nature or engaging in calming practices like meditation. So this reflector consultant, let's say, who's working in this corporate environment, she is frequently taking breaks to go outside, be in nature, let the sun touch her face, be with the trees, maybe taking her shoes off and putting her feet in the grass, right? Or maybe she's like taking a lunch break to meditate so that she can be calm, so that she can clear her energy. And she is also making sure that she has a supportive network of people outside of work where she can decompress and process her experiences, right? This is really important for reflectors. Having supportive people around you that you can talk to, process with, that are not going to judge you, that are not going to push back on you, but it's hold a safe space for you. Okay. All righty, reflectors. Let me know what you think about that. Okay. Let me know if you resonate. Alrighty, well, that wraps up our alignment and success strategies for each type. I would love to hear from you. Shoot me a message over on Instagram. Let me know, like, hey, like, yes, Kendra, I'm an MG, I'm a Manny Jen, this resonated, or maybe something didn't resonate. Like, let me know. I'd love to know that too. Okay. Before I end, I want to invite you again to join us at our Align and Thrive workshop. Remember, that's happening August 13th through the 15th. It's going to be 3 days. Because we're going to explore what we just talked about here. We're going to explore this on a deeper level in our workshop and really share with you how you can integrate this into your current business. So do that. I'll leave the show notes, the link in the show notes for you. And also, please follow the show. Follow the show, leave us a rating and a review, because it really helps us to get this out there to more people. For all of you who are doing this for me, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And I'm so grateful for that. So Thank you so much for listening. You can connect with me over on Instagram at Soulful Success by Design. You can leave me a message there. Let me know what you thought of today's episode. And yeah, that is all I got. I will see you next time. So this is Kendra with Soulful Success by Design. Go out there and create success from your soul on your terms. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Soulful Success by Design. If you enjoyed our conversation and found value in it, please leave a rating and review on iTunes to help me continue bringing more inspiring content your way. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Soulful Success by Design or visit my website at kendrakWoods.com for extra inspiration and resources. I appreciate you so much and can't wait to connect with you in the next episode. Until then, remember to create success from your soul and on your terms.